Bitcoin was created as a decentralized alternative to the banking system. This means that the system can operate and transfer funds from. What is Bitcoin mining? Does it mean I can generate free Bitcoin from my computer? Is it still profitable to mine Bitcoin these days? Well, stick around. Here on Bitcoin Whiteboard Tuesday, we'll answer these questions and more. Bitcoin was created as a decentralized alternative to the banking system. This means that the system can operate and transfer funds from one account to the other without any central authority. With a central authority, transferring money is easy. Just tell the bank you want to remove $50 from your account and add it to someone else's account. In this case, the bank has all the power, since the bank is the only one who was allowed to update the ledger that holds the balances of everyone in the system. But how do you create a system that has a decentralized ledger? How do you give someone the ability to update the ledger without giving them so much power that they'll become corrupt or negligent in their work? Well, the rules of the Bitcoin system, known as the protocol, solves this in a very creative way I like to call Who Wants to Be a Banker? In short, anyone who wants to participate in updating the ledger of Bitcoin transactions, known as the blockchain, can do so. All you need to do is guess a random number that solves an equation generated by the system. Sounds simple, right? Of course, this guessing is all done by your computer. The more powerful of a computer you have, the more guesses you can make per second, thus increasing your chances of winning this game. If you manage to guess right, you earn Bitcoins and get to write the next page of Bitcoin transactions on the blockchain. Here's a more detailed breakdown of the mining process. Once your mining computer comes up with the right guess, your mining program determines which of the currently pending transactions will be grouped together into the next block of transactions. Compiling this block represents your moment of glory, as you have now become the temporary banker of Bitcoin, who gets to update the Bitcoin transaction ledger known as the blockchain. The block you've created, along with your solution, is sent to the whole network so that other computers can validate it. Each computer that validates your solution updates its copy of the Bitcoin transaction ledger with the transactions that you chose to include in the next block. As you can imagine, since mining is based on a form of guessing for each block, a different miner will guess the number and be granted the right to update the blockchain. Of course, the miners with more computing power will succeed more often, but due to the laws of statistical probability, it is highly unlikely that the same miner will do so every time. After this stage is complete, the system generates a fixed amount of Bitcoins and rewards them to you as a compensation for the time and energy you spent in solving the math problem. Additionally, you get paid any transaction fees that were attached to the transactions you inserted into this block. So that's Bitcoin mining in a nutshell. It's called mining because of the fact that this process helps mine new Bitcoins from the system. But if you think about it, the mining part is just a byproduct of the transaction verification process. So the name is a bit misleading, since the main goal of mining is to maintain the ledger in a decentralized manner. Well, now that you know what Bitcoin mining is, you might be thinking, cool, free money. So where do I sign up? Well, not so fast. Satoshi Nakamoto, who invented Bitcoin, crafted the rules for mining in a way that the more mining power the network has, the harder it is to guess the answer to the mining math problem. So the difficulty of the mining process is actually self-adjusting to the accumulated mining power the network possesses. If more miners join, it will get harder to solve the problem. If many of them drop off, it will get easier. And this is known as the mining difficulty. So why on earth did Satoshi do this? Well, he wanted to create a steady flow of new Bitcoins to the system. In a sense, this was done to keep inflation in check. The mining difficulty is set so that on average, a new block will be added every 10 minutes. Now remember, this is on average. We can have 2 blocks being added minute after minute and then wait an hour for the next block. In the long run, though, this will even out to 10 minutes on average. As you can imagine, this type of self-adjusting mechanism created some sort of an arms race to get the most efficient and powerful miners as soon as possible. When Bitcoin first started out, there weren't a lot of miners out there. In fact, Satoshi, the inventor of Bitcoin, and his friend Hal Finney were some of the very few people mining Bitcoin back at the time with their own personal computer. Using your CPU, meaning your central processing unit or your computer's brain, was enough for mining Bitcoin back in 2009, since the mining difficulty was low. As Bitcoin started to catch on, people looked for more powerful mining solutions. Well, gradually, people moved to GPU mining. A GPU, or graphics processing unit, is a special component added to computers to carry out more complex calculations. GPUs were originally intended to allow gamers to run computer games with intense graphics requirements. Because of their architecture, they became popular in the field of cryptography, and around 2011, people also started using them to mine Bitcoins. For reference, the mining power of one GPU equals that of around 30 CPUs. Another evolution came later on, with FPGA mining. FPGA is a piece of hardware that can be connected to a computer in order to run a set of calculations. They're just like a GPU, but 3 to 100 times faster. The downside is that they're harder to configure, which is why they weren't as commonly used in mining as GPUs. Finally, around 2013, a new breed of